when we started playing shows off the Bleach record, um, things had things had changed quite a bit for us because the first time we went on tour, we just had our single, and that was all we did. And we were like, well, we really want to go out and start playing. And it was interesting because it was some people, you know, were aware of us, and there'd be shows where like there was hardly anybody there, so we made it kind of a stretch for us to try to earn. Our goal was to be able to make enough money to give us enough gas to get to the next venue to play because we had all these places. The first time we went out was like Texas, all the way to the East Coast and back. But it was surprising um, to. I remember thinking, these people were, showing up, and they were like, "Hey, man, this that single's really awesome," and all this stuff. And I remember even hanging out inside the clubs before they were, officially open. People would go and by, be like, "Hey, is Nirvana playing tonight?" And I'd be like, I'd maybe on the other side of the door, or like on the booth or something, in earshot, and I'd be like, "Wow, that's really weird." It's like we're here in somewhere in Midwest, and somebody actually knows who we are. That's really strange. And so, I mean, that was pretty much what the single and the tour was like. But when Bleach came out, it was a totally different story. It was like everywhere we played, it was, people knew who we were. And, all the venues we played were just packed with people. And it was kind of a rush. It was like, wow, this is so wild. It's like now I mean, before, we had some packed shows. We had a lot of shows that didn't have a lot of people as well. But this time around was totally different. The Bleach record was totally different, and we never had to worry about room and board or anything either. I mean, it was people were always offering us places to stay, but we also made pretty decent money. I mean, considering what we were doing, and I never knew what our record sales was like. I don't know if Kurt or Chris knew or anybody knew. Nobody had a clue, but obviously it was doing enough to where it got at least enough attention to where people knew what was going on. But I think a lot in part to things leading up to like our record and stuff like that, and touring stuff was really the whole Sub Pop thing. I mean, people. I think people, a lot of their first wind of Sub Pop and seeing the bands tour and stuff, or like would be like Mudhoney and stuff like that, because they had vinyl out and record out before we did, and already been doing some touring and stuff like that. So I think they kind of helped. I think we benefited from that. Because there was, they were out there, and it's like, there was kind of solidifying, a crowd of, loyal people that were really into Sub Pop and stuff. They were like, okay, these people have been buying these singles and whatnot, and this thing's starting up, and we're gonna go check out these bands now. And so, by the time Bleach came out, there'd already been a couple of tours at least by probably Mudhoney and maybe Tad and whatnot or whatever had already poked their head out of the sand, so to speak, as far as getting out of Washington. And so I think that helped a lot for us too. And the shows were a blast. The shows were a lot of fun. And it's just something something I'll always hold on to as some of the best times of my life, for sure.